Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're exploring what is, for so many of us, the journey of a lifetime. Based on the beautiful insights from the All-Muslim Travel Guide, we're going to walk through the essential steps for a perfect Umrah. But more importantly, we're going to look really closely at 10 common mistakes that pilgrims often make and exactly how you can avoid them. You know, whether you're traveling for the very first time or you're blessed to be returning to the Holy Lands, avoiding these pitfalls is absolutely crucial. It's what ensures your journey is sincere, correct, and truly accepted. So take a breath, open your heart, and let's prepare for this sacred undertaking together.
Okay, let's dive right in. Our journey today covers 5 main steps. We'll start with preparing for the Ihram, move on to Tawaf around the Kaaba, the sa'i between Safa and Marwa, maintaining your health and focus, and finally, we'll wrap up with a comprehensive final Umrah checklist.
Step 1. Preparing for the Ihram. This is truly the foundation of your sacred journey. You see, your spiritual journey actually begins long before you even lay eyes on the grand mosques. It begins with your readiness to step away from worldly life. So, before we look at our very first mistake, we've got to ask a fundamental question. What exactly is the Miqat?
Well, the Miqat is the designated boundary where a pilgrim absolutely must enter the state of Ihram before proceeding to Mecca. As pilgrims, we have to observe this sacred boundary with deep reverence. It's all about preparing physically and spiritually, because crossing this line literally signifies your formal entry into the rites of Umrah.
And that brings us right to our first major pitfall. Mistake number 1 is entering Ihram without preparing for or really understanding the Miqat. Failing to understand where and how to cross this boundary is just a massive missed opportunity to start your worship correctly. Honestly, so many travelers arrive completely unprepared. They end up rushing to change or scrambling to make their intentions at the absolute last minute on an airplane. That just causes unnecessary stress, rather than allowing you to enter a state of true peace.
Moving forward, let's look at the next 2 pitfalls together. Mistake number 2 is an ignorance of Ihram rules. And mistake number 3 is having an incorrect niyyah or intention, along with confusion about the Talbiyah. It is incredibly important to learn the specific restrictions of Ihram well beforehand, and you have to ensure your niyyah is crystal clear and your Talbiyah, that beautiful calling out to the Creator, is entirely sincere, done solely for the sake of Allah.
Let's transition to part 2, Tawaf, circling the Kaaba. This is really the heart of worship.
Just imagine the sheer awe of approaching the Kaaba for your Tawaf. It's a moment of profound humility, and it's anchored by one core number, 7. Tawaf consists of exactly 7 complete circuits around the Kaaba, not 6, not 8, a precise and deeply mindful 7.
Keeping that in mind, we really need to be careful to avoid mistakes 4 and 5. Mistake 4 is losing count of those Tawaf circuits. You absolutely must know exactly where the Tawaf begins, which is at the line of the black stone, and where it ends so you can maintain an accurate count. And mistake 5, that's pushing, shouting, or harming others just to reach the black stone. Look, remember that your good manners and your patience are, in themselves, acts of worship. Touching the stone is a beautiful sunnah for sure, but harming another Muslim to do it, that is strictly forbidden.
Now, this brings us to a super common misconception regarding mandatory du'as. There are actually no specific set-in-stone prayers required for each round. Nope, none at all. Instead, what is beautifully accepted are permissible supplications, things like dhikr and heartfelt personal prayers. While you might see a lot of pilgrims reading from specific little booklets, honestly, any sincere supplication straight from your own heart is always best. So naturally, mistake number 6 is believing there's a specific mandatory dua required for every single round of Tawaf. Please don't present optional supplications to yourself as strict, mandatory rules. Your connection to your Creator should be personal, it should be authentic, and it should be deeply sincere. Just pour your heart out in your very own words.
Moving on to part 3, sa'i, Safa and Marwa, walking in the footsteps of Hajr.
This is where we honor the incredible historical and spiritual significance of Hajr's desperate search for water. It's such a profound act of reliance and faith. And here, that crucial number 7 appears once again. This time, it represents the total number of journeys between the 2 hills, Safa and Marwa.
And that leads us straight to mistake number 7, miscounting those 7 journeys of sa'i, or totally misunderstanding where you're supposed to walk faster. Let's clear this up right now. A journey from Safa to Marwa is counted as 1.
The return trip from Marwa back to Safa is counted as 2. You've got to keep this count crystal clear in your mind. Also, be mindful of the green light zones between the hills. That's the specific area where men traditionally walk at a faster pace, emulating the Blessed Mother Hajar.
Which brings us to part 4, health, focus, and patience, managing your inner and outer state. You know, Umrah isn't just a spiritual endeavor, it genuinely requires a whole lot of physical endurance. So mistake number 8 is ignoring your bodily needs during all this exertion. You've got to drink plenty of Zamzam and water. Rest when you feel you need to during the rites, protect yourself from the excessive heat, and always follow official safety instructions. Taking care of your physical body is exactly what allows you to perform your worship correctly and with the right presence of mind.
On a similar note, mistake number 9 is falling victim to worldly distractions. We're talking phones, excessive photography, scrolling social media. These things pull you right away from the true purpose of your journey, which is prayer, remembrance, and pure intention. Think about it. Umrah is a profoundly sacred act of worship. It is absolutely not a photo opportunity for an online audience. Guard your sincerity fiercely.
And finally, mistake number 10. Rushing through Umrah like it's some sort of race. You really must remain calm, patient, and entirely focused. Do not rush to the finish line just so you can say you're done. Savor every single step. Focus on performing each rite calmly and correctly, and really allow the peace of the sanctuary to enter your heart.
Finally, Part 5, the final Umrah checklist, completing your sacred journey. As our beautiful journey nears its end, let's walk through a mental checklist to ensure every single step has been fulfilled. Drawing right from the Al-Muslim Travel Guide, it all begins with the Miqat, entering Ihram, establishing your Niyyah, and reciting the Talbiyah. Next up, you perform your Tawaf, pray your 2 rakas, and drink that blessed Zamzam. Then, you complete the Sa'i. And finally, the Halq or Taqsir, which is the shaving or trimming of the hair, is performed. And with that, your Umrah is beautifully completed.
Now, before we part ways today, please remember this important note. Detailed religious matters should always be verified with a qualified scholar and current official guidance. Always make sure to seek sound knowledge and prepare yourself properly before embarking on your journey.
I want to leave you with this final thought to carry with you. As you step onto this sacred path, hopefully avoiding these common mistakes we've talked about, how will you ensure your focus remains entirely on pleasing Allah? May your journey be safe, your intentions pure, and your